Alright, so in the previous video, I'm pretty sure I was talking about the decision I made and how the next step is going to be, high ticket with shigs and everything. And I remember specifically mentioning that the only thing left was for me to pray istikhara for it. So yesterday I did pray istikhara, I think yesterday or the day before. And this is not really like a telling you the plan type of video. This is more of just like brainstorming and just getting the idea out there and getting the thought process out there. But basically what happened is, especially when I was going to bed, I kind of got a strong feeling towards not pursuing that and instead focusing on YS loyalty. And so there's kind of, but there's two sides to the arguments. Let me just sit properly. But basically, first of all, I need to say alhamdulillah, I'm in a position where I have two very good options that I could take, and both have inshallah, very high success probability. The question is, which option do I take? And so there's a couple of questions that I could ask myself. First of all, does it tie into my mission? There's two sides to that. Does shigs tie into my mission? Maybe. Does YS loyalty tie into my mission? Not really. In terms of shigs, the way it would tie into my mission is that if I, at least high ticket, I can't really see it tying into my mission, even though it is closer because it's still in terms of academics, if that is even my mission, which I mentioned before, which is, a school system that overtakes IB and A-levels and all of that and produces high agency kids, assuming that's the mission. If that is the mission, then what's closer is going down the shigs high ticket path, if that's the mission. Now again, is it 100% transferable? Definitely not. And thinking about it, would I really get experience or would it just be a way to make quick money? In terms of what can get me to 10K a month closer, it would probably be shigs, high ticket, because again, like I talked about before, I would only need 5 or 6 clients a month, and that would get me to 10K. Now in terms of long-term strategy, I can't help but notice, or I can't help but think that YS loyalty is much more scalable. Way more scalable. Listen, when it comes to info products, although it's a very easy way to make money, the profit margins are really high, the issue is it's very hard to scale. It's extremely hard to scale, in fact, and I don't see myself scaling shigs aslan. Unless I keep on just building on it until I'm at a position where I have the whole school. So now I'm back to square one. Now I don't know what to do. There's also another aspect that I thought about, which is, my roommate just came in. But there's another aspect that I thought about, which is respectability. How respectable a business is. Now, it's very easy for me to say, I don't care about what people think. First of all, that would be a lie. Of course, I care about what people think, but also when it comes to business, your reputation, how respectable you are in your domain is very important. And I can't help but notice that charging like 1 or 2K to get the grades for students is not that respectable compared to like a loyalty program, for example. So what I did was, when I was sleeping last night, I thought about it a lot, and honestly I started getting the feeling that I should do YS loyalty instead of shigs. And so what I did today, just like an hour or two ago, is that I prayed istikhara specifically for YS loyalty. So what I decided is that I'm going to do a month of full force YS loyalty, just trying as hard as possible. I'm going to dedicate like 2-3 hours a day on first of all developing a proper program, so one that doesn't rely on Zapier, deploying it and everything, and then for the majority of the time actually trying to get leads and trying to get clients. Because I actually did the hard parts. I did the fun but hard part, which is build the system, and the system's there, like it works. If I were to charge $60 a month, I'd probably break even. The issue is I didn't get a single lead, and I didn't try that hard. All I did was message some barbers in a couple of different cities, and also a couple of shawarma spots. I got one decent lead. I didn't follow up with him. He said he was going to give me an answer in a week. I didn't follow up with him, so I should probably follow up with him. And also, what's his name? The recovery room guy, Imran, back in Dubai. He has a physio place, and I think he could also use it. And I know him. I know him personally. I sent him a message. He said it's very interesting, whatever. I told him, when do you want to set up a time? He didn't really answer, but if I followed up with him, we could probably try to do something. So, listen, this is the current conundrum, right? There's a couple of different things, right? Short-term goals and then long-term mission. Short-term goals have been obvious from the beginning. 10K a month, start a family, get married, all that stuff, right? Pay my own tuition, all of that. But what's more important is long-term mission. Then again, I'm still only 20. Do I really know my long-term mission? Do I have to does every action I take from now until the day I die have to be tied in with my long-term mission? I don't think so. I mean, Elon Musk, for example, let's say his mission is like putting people on Mars or whatever. He started PayPal when he was in uni or after. That wasn't really tied into his mission, but it still gave him experience, it gave him the capital, it gave him all of that. So if what I want is capital, and also business experience in general, I'll probably get more experience and more capital by building YS Loyalty up into a proper brand. I'm talking about like 8-figure valuation, 7-figure valuation. And then using that capital to start like the school system. Alhamdulillah, I'm young, like I'm 20, right? The mission's still the mission. If that is my mission, then it's still there. But is there a rush? Like, do I have to rush there? Or can I use this time to kind of build other skills? I really think this is the most critical period of my life. It's kind of a side point, but in terms of all of the decisions I have to make, and I think I'm going to look back at 2025 as kind of the year that set the standard, the year that I really chose a path. On the side, I'm also applying to internships, seeing, what I could get. Yeah. I think I'll end it here. I did press the istikharah, but now kind of talking about it, I'm still second guessing myself. I think it's gonna have to honestly get to a point where I just make a decision and I just man up and I go with it. I think that's what it's gonna come down to, because if I can think myself into just never taking action, paralysis by analysis, as they call it, and I think that's a pretty fair. It's a pretty fair summary of me as a person when I make decisions. And maybe this is a way of kind of character development and me getting to the point where I'm actually relying on just my intuition. What does my intuition right now tell me? I'm leaning towards YS Loyalty. But then again, if you asked me that last week, I would have been leaning towards high ticket sales or Shigs or... So I don't know. Shigs is still there. The exam season is, still going to last until April. So worst case scenario, I spend from October to November on YS Loyalty, see if I could get a couple of clients paying me each month. And if there is proof of concept, then could go crazy. And if there isn't, then could go crazy on Shigs. But I feel like what's really important now is for me to actually commit to YS Loyalty. And I'm talking about properly commit. I don't like saying I want to put like 10 hours in a day or whatever, because I like to judge stuff based on tasks completed rather than time. I think that's kind of the way I've been just treating myself over the past couple of years, even with studies and everything. I never said, let me study 30 minutes today or an hour today. I always said, let me just get this task done. That's the way I try to operate. So what I want to do over the next couple of weeks, First of all, explore having my own software. So I'm not relying on Zapier because I realize Zapier is going to be very expensive. So having my own software. And then also just reaching out to leads, just as many as possible. Different niches as well. So right now I've only been doing barbers and like shawarma spots and everything, but there's a lot of different niches that can benefit from this. Cafe shops. You can explore stuff like laundry, like cleaning services, all of that stuff. So anyways, I think this has been my weakest videos yet because it wasn't me like talking about concepts. It was more just ranting and brainstorming, kind of like journaling, but in a video. But again, I think it's what I need to recognize is that I have two decisions that are like both options are good. Like I'm not choosing between freaking we're gonna make a racist comment there. I'm not choosing between two bad options. I'm choosing between two decent options. One of them, there's proof of concept. Like I know if I go all in on shigs, I can make another probably 20K minimum. If I do short form and long form and everything, and I already have like the experience from the previous couple of years. And until April, I could probably make like 20K. That being said, is it sustainable? Is it what I want to do? Like I can't help but notice, but that every time I go not all in, but every time I try with shigs, yeah, sure, I'm making money and stuff is good and everything. But every single time, last year and the year before it, I told myself, I don't want to be doing this long term. And so I'd hate for me to do another year of making YouTube videos and telling you how to study for an hour a day and how you should study with a month left and all that stuff. And it's just the same script every single time. Even if I move on to like paid ads and all of that stuff. Like I want to have a proper business that's scalable. And if I could get leads in Calgary, imagine the leads I could get in Dubai. And with shigs as well, like it's only the GCSE and A-level system. And there's kind of the barrier of, okay, I'm living here in Canada, like I'm between Canada and Dubai. It's like, there kind of is a barrier there because sometimes I want to go do like physical stuff. Like I thought about it a couple of times, or at least people have recommended it, which is, go to different schools and like meet the parents there, but there's no GCSE or A-level schools here. Maybe I could do it in Dubai, but I'm not there most of the time. So listen, I think the rant has gone on for long enough. Shigs is definitely an option. I'm not going to say it's not. High ticket is also something I'd like to explore at some point. But I think an issue as well is that I was sitting there and I was trying to craft an offer that, in my opinion, was worth £1,000, and I couldn't help but notice that it'd be hard to justify, man. I know it's kind of based on results and everything, but even then, it's not like my testimonials are insane. Like I have decent testimonials from the low ticket offer, but the amount of trust that you have to build between you and the lead for them to give you £1,000, like I don't think it's enough. I don't think the testimonials are enough. YS Loyalty is kind of just a more straight, just makes more sense type of business. I just need to do one of those lock-ins, man, just like full monk mode. I mean, what prevents me from doing it? If I think about it, like the time that I waste every day, whether it's like sitting around in university, hanging out with friends and everything, is it that beneficial for me? Can I sacrifice a month out of the 8 months that I'm spending in university? Or we can. Anyways, I think the video's gone on for long enough.